Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is a question that has been asked in the same morning, back to back. So one person asked this question, another person asked this very same question, literally moments later. SubhanAllah. The question is, can the rites of Hajj be performed before the beginning of al-Hijjah, meaning in Shawwal and Dhul-Qa'dah, which are the months after Ramadan? Is that possible, or does the Hajj actually begin in al-Hijjah? How does it work? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, al-Hajju ashhurun ma'lumat faman farada fihinna al-Hajj fala rafatha wala fusuq wala jidala fil Hajj al-ayat. In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying is that the Hajj is performed in the well-known months, plural months, not months. And these months are Shawwal, Dhul-Qa'dah and Dhul-Hijjah, which is the 10th month, 11th month and the 12th month of the Islamic calendar. So basically what used to happen, and still kind of does happen, is that after Ramadan, you've done your Ramadan, you've done, the fourth pillar of Islam, you make your way to Makkah to complete the fifth pillar of Islam. Look at this religion, subhanAllah. At the sunset of Ramadan, you are preparing for another pillar of Islam. After you have celebrated Eid al-Fitr, you are preparing for Eid al-Adha. And this is what they used to do. And this is known as Hajj al-Tamattu and Hajj al-Qiran. So a person basically leaves his hometown in any of these months, any time after Ramadan, Shawwal, Dhul-Qa'dah, or in Dhul-Hijjah itself, and he goes there and he performs the Umrah with the conditions of the Umrah, not passing the Miqat unless he's in Ihram, etc. And then he stays in Makkah until the Hajj actually begins. If he's not from Medina, he can visit Medina in that time, which is what some packages do. So they'll come there early, they'll perform the Umrah, they'll go off to Medina, they might go off to Jeddah, they might go off for, a little bit of tourism, or what they call ziyarah, etc. And then on the 8th day of Dhul Hijjah, they will perform the Hajj. They will begin to perform the Hajj, because that's when the Hajj actually begins, the 8th day of Dhul Hijjah. And this is known as Hajj al-Tamattu, Hajj al-Qiran. The only difference between Tamattu and Qiran is that one you will keep the Ihram on, and the other one you take the Ihram off. Obviously, if you've got a long period of time that you're going to stay in Makkah for, you would then probably choose the Tamattu one. If you're coming early but you're going to stay in Ihram, you'd probably choose the Qiran one, especially if you're bringing your own hadi, your own sacrifice, etc. This is not the time for us to talk about that, but the question is that can we perform the rites and the rituals of Hajj before the beginning of Dhul Hijjah, and especially before the days of Hajj, which is the 8th and the 9th and the 10th and 11th and 12th and 13th and 4th, I can't confuse myself, from the 8th to the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. These are the days of Hajj. These are the 5 days of Hajj. And the answer to that is yes. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, al-Hajju ashhurun ma'lumat. There's another type of Hajj which is known as Hajj Ifrad. And Ifrad will be a little bit different, but that person assumes the Ihram just for Hajj. And quite often, and this is what you will find in the books of fiqh, they will say this person who is coming early, he's saying Shawwal with al-Qa'dah, he should not do Ifrad. Some of the ulama have even just said that Ifrad is only for the people in Makkah. يكون هادي المسجد الحرام, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. So these are the three types of Hajj, and when we can understand the types of Hajj, then we can understand when the Hajj actually begins and the time of permissibility begins, etc. Wallahu a'lam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows us to see His house, and that He creates a firm bond and connection between Him and us and His house and everything which is sacred to Him. And likewise we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for those people performing the Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts it from them and they return back to their homes, unlike the day that their mother gave birth to them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unites us all under His mercy in the dunya and in the akhirah. Wallahu a'lam wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina.